Yeah, thank you, Becky. I want to welcome everyone to this pre-job brief on volunteering for STEM and the Blue Water Catholic and Public School Boards. I know many of you who've joined on behalf of OCNI and Bruce Power. We're delighted to have you here. And today's briefing should give you a sense of, A, letting you know what it is you've volunteered for, but also we have more than one type of volunteer opportunity. So you can feel free to work through Sue McLeod, myself, and Becky to make sure you're getting lined up to the place where you can add the most value. And with that welcome, I will turn it back over to you, Becky. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sue. So I will echo that. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you are able to make it here today. Really, my goal for us today is to give you a brief overview of what outreach is for what it kind of means to us, STEM outreach, what it means to us, and really what it can mean to you, your community, and even the bottom line in some cases. So really the goal for me today is to get a little bit into the why of what we're after here. And I'm looking to sort of set up a foundation here that we're going to continue to build on in the coming weeks with some, we have an upcoming in-person event and some additional coaching and training sessions that will be planned. So to start things off, I like to start off with some feedback we got from a volunteer that was doing some engineering outreach in this case, and just kind of wanted to hit on some of the points that came back from her. Her name was Yenna. She is I think she was at the time, I don't think she is anymore, but she was a water resources engineering intern. And I believe she was doing a workshop called Water for the World at the time. It's a really great one that happens usually every March. But she talks here about enthusiasm, energy, and creativity that she was seeing in the kids, and just how that was just such a great reminder for her of some of those skills that sometimes get forgotten in our day-to-day jobs, and and when we're kind of working through getting to those jobs in university, they can kind of get tamped down a little and pushed to the side. But to be able to see those skills coming out in the kids is just a really refreshing reminder of how powerful they really are. And then she talks also about how engaging a classroom full of excited children really uses some unique facilitation skills. You really have to kind of be on the ball and be creative in the way that you are getting their attention and keeping them engaged. And then also leadership and project management skills. So when we think about going in and doing an activity with students, there's a lot more behind it than just what is the activity that we're going to be doing. Just wanted to spend a couple minutes for those of you who aren't familiar with Engineers of Tomorrow. Myself, I'm sorry, Sarah mentioned my name. I should have given you my full name. So my name is Becky White. You would have all received emails from me. And then if you're confused at all, I usually go by both Rebecca and Becky. So if you see an email from Rebecca, that's me. And I'm the operations manager at Engineers of Tomorrow. I work with Erica Lee Garcia, who is the venture lead. And so we work with various companies, professional associations, and educators. And our goal is to try and transform the engineering profession. We really believe that there's more diversity needed, embracing the ability to learn from failure, innovation, all those really great skills are going to be necessary to solve those most important problems of the 21st century. And we really think that talking to kids differently about engineering and STEM is the way to do that. So that's why we do world-class outreach, and we try and empower others to do the same. So shaping the public's perception of engineering, we really believe is the way to change the future. So there's lots of great companies out there doing STEM outreach, doing different, developing activities. So what is it that we do differently? Well, first of all, we want to make sure you know what we think when we're talking about STEM outreach. So we really see it as an opportunity to create a positive experience for young people while learning more about STEM. And those words, positive experience, are really what we want to focus on. We do notice that a lot of times the volunteers that get involved in these programs tend to default to focusing on, what's the best activity, what's going to get, what's going to, how do I design an activity in a way that kids are going to get the right messages? And those are all great questions, but there's a real power in pausing and taking a step back to think about the experience as a whole that we're creating for those young people. So as you can kind of read on the slide here, it's more than just impressing them with the latest technology or cool gadgets. It really for us is about connecting with them on a personal level and changing those messages that they're receiving about the various STEM professions. So what we like to do is coach and train and empower you, the volunteers, to give you the tools to be able to do that. So how does that work? Kind of what does that look like? So we've trained thousands of volunteers. We've managed the National Engineering Month campaign for going on 6. I think this is our 7th year now. And we also manage the Engineer in Residence program, which is Professional Engineers Ontario flagship engineering outreach program. So thousands of volunteers across the province in those cases. And so that's given us a real opportunity to implement STEM outreach in a different way. So a few of the bullet points you can see there. We have a message strategy. So core messaging guidelines that use evidence-proven way of talking to kids that is going to achieve the impact that we are looking for, meaning, a positive experience with STEM. We do leverage evidence-based methods. So we have some connections with some great researchers that are doing some really innovative work on how to bring these messages and bring these activities to kids in a way that are going to have that desired impact. And we promote and cultivate we promote and cultivate outreach innovation. So when we talk about outreach innovation, we're not talking about the technology again. We're talking about how to do outreach in an innovative way. So, not just doing the same old approach year over year. We really try to keep up with that latest research and find ways to embed the messaging into that outreach in different ways. We also think a lot about diversity, and we really go beyond, the idea of that we need diversity. We go beyond that and really dig into why it matters. We're really big on thinking about the why, so it just really adds an extra layer and deepens that engagement for really both the volunteer and the students, the youth that are getting those messages. And we like to look at through whole systems lenses. So we do, whenever we can, we like to break down barriers and ask great questions to try and eliminate silos and have an impact at a system level where we can. So I mentioned we like to think a lot about the why. So here's a slide on some of our whys. So we really do see the potential in every young person to contribute to a world that works for everyone. And we see every engineer, every STEM professional in this case as a role model. Someone who can be a change agent capable of inspiring the next generation. So some of our whys, for me personally, I had inspiration from a STEM camp that I was lucky enough to be able to attend. And So I really like to give back. And at the same time, I have young kids now that are asking me why I do the work that I do. So that really helps me be able to connect to what I'm doing in a meaningful way. You can see some of the other whys here are things you've probably heard before. So as an engineer, I pride myself on helping people and finding better ways to do things. I see the engineering profession adopting new kinds of leadership and imagination. No one encouraged me to take engineering as a kid, so now I want to pay that forward. So, these are our own thoughts from our own team members on the why we do it, and we're going to be doing some work with you as volunteers to think about your whys and what that means to you. So now kind of taking a step back and looking at how STEM outreach can inspire, future STEM professionals. So thinking about things like providing real-world learning opportunities, career exploration for really the whole community, students, teachers, parents, evoking a positive attitude and confidence in technical skills, instilling in an awareness and interest of STEM careers, bringing grassroots inspiration, and really the grassroots approach we have found to be very powerful and is one of those things that we look at when we're talking about impacting systems. So we've really noticed that by using the grassroots approach, we can impact systems at multiple levels, which is really interesting, and we can talk more about that. But these are just a few points on kind of how, as a business, we can inspire the next generation. Looking at it, kind of what's in it for me, what's in it for a business or for my business or the business I'm working for. So things like strengthening your brands, building hiring pipeline, community service, developing leaders. So thinking about from your brand's perspective, putting you in a position of being a thought leader in the industry, creating opportunities that might not otherwise have been possible to get certain types of engagement, dispelling myths about your particular industry is a great, having the opportunity to get in front of kids and talk to them sort of at their level about what you do every day is a great way for them to spread the messages, the truths, I guess, about what really is going on, and providing sort of a positive environment for your business. Building the hiring pipeline. So again, like getting out in front of potential talent, I guess, that will one day become graduates and may choose to, think back to that positive experience they had when you were in their classroom. It's a point in time for them to reflect on and have an influence on their decisions. Also cultivating diversity and competency in your talent pipeline. So, engaging sort of designing the engagement in a way that we are educating students from underrepresented groups is another way to access, maybe untapped pipelines. Thinking about community service. So here is a really great sort of fresh business aligned approach for STEM companies to be able to think about doing their corporate social responsibility. We know there's lots of great community service events happening, but being able to do something that's really well aligned with the skills of the employees and getting them to reconnect with their own decisions and their own strengths and reasons why they get excited and want to come into work every day. There's something to be said for that level of doing community service in that way. There's that added level of connection there that STEM professionals are in a unique position to provide. And it's great that companies can make an impact within the community that they're located. It's a relatively small investment, and you're leveraging really core strengths. So talking about, like I said, you've got STEM professionals that are working in your business, in these businesses. So being able to take what they do well and really amplify it is a really great opportunity. Investing in leaders. So thinking back to that first or second, I guess, slide that I put up from Yenna, talking about the things that she was getting out of the engineering outreach experience that she did at the time. But it's a great way to invest in people. And so, it gives them an extra dimension to their career, to their professional practice. It gives them an opportunity to connect in a really unique way to their profession. Thinking back about why it is they chose to do what they do, and then communicating that to a classroom full of kids is a really unique opportunity that really gets to kind of the meaning behind a lot of those decisions. And then it's exciting to have an impact. It's really fun to have kids run up to you and tell you, yeah, I want to be a scientist, or I want to be a technician, or now I want to be an engineer, and seeing their faces light up when they overcome a challenge or solve a problem, it's really rewarding. So it's a great way to sort of sense and feel that impact and think about the way that you are incorporating and the way that you are influencing the future generation of your profession. It's a really great learning opportunity as well. So we really love this quote from Albert Einstein: "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." So being able to break down the work that you do, and the work of STEM professionals, and a lot of time is quite technical and can get challenging to explain. But if you are able to break that down and explain it to a group of young kids, then it really challenges you and your own understanding of the work that you're doing. So great learning opportunity just on the work that you're doing, but also leadership skills, planning skills, networking, project management, public speaking, lots more. So great way to again invest in people and in the resources that are so important for operation of these businesses. So quick summary here. So we really believe that doing outreach in this way it's a great way to engage with communities, and it really is an investment that is allowing employees to become leaders, is strengthening your brand, increasing employee satisfaction, productivity, retention, and then at the same time fostering those networks and relationships that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise be able to facilitate through doing this community service. So lots of great stuff going on there. I could probably talk for much longer, but trying to want to give a little bit of time here for us to get through the details in terms of kind of next steps and what's coming up to give you a bit of visibility. So we have coming up on Wednesday, April the 4th, the kickoff event. So that will be held at the Blue Water Education Center. It's from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and they are graciously providing us with lunch. And that is going to be your first opportunity to connect with each teacher that is very excited to be a part of this program as well. The agenda looks like this. So in the morning, there's going to be some welcome messages. I'm going to do another talk for about an hour, so I'll go into a little bit more detail on some of the concepts I touched on today. Then we are going to move into, they're calling them engineer presentations. That's not something to worry about. You don't have to prepare a formal presentation. But what it is that's the block of time that's been allotted for all of you volunteers, all of you STEM professionals to connect with the teachers. You'll basically have 5 minutes with each teacher. It might look slightly different than that. They're going to have us grouped into rooms, so you might have to share your time with some other volunteers. But essentially, you have about 5 minutes with each teacher there, and that'll go on until lunch. And then after lunch, we have the opportunity to hear from another keynote speaker, Krista Shabata. So she is a leader in Women in Technology initiative at IBM. So she's going to be talking to us about some really well-aligned messaging ideas around unconscious bias. So really excited to have the opportunity to hear from her on how we can be aware of what's going on with unconscious bias and the work that's happening when we're doing STEM outreach. And then after Krista's talk, we are going to do we'll have another block of time to do the meet and greets with the teachers. And then there's a quick closing that's going to happen at 3:15. So coming out of the session on the 4th, what you'll be doing is ranking the teachers in terms of preference. If you have, I know some of you have filled out the intake form we sent you. Thank you very much. And we did ask if you had any preferences, but this is just going to be sort of your next level of opportunity to tell us if you had a really great connection with a certain teacher and you've got your whole year all planned out and you know exactly what you want to do. This is your opportunity to give us that information. So we will do our best to collect all of that feedback. As Sarah mentioned in the beginning, we're looking to try and build and design a program that's going to work for whatever level of commitment you're able to offer. So that's going to be important for us to hear from you. And then the teachers are doing the same thing. So they're going to be giving us their feedback to say, what their preferences were, and then we will be setting up some matching going on from there. I wanted to give everyone a few tips on thinking about, 5 minutes is not a lot of time. I've gone through 25 minutes here, and it goes by very quickly. So how can you use that time, that 5 minutes, to the best of your ability to figure out where you might have some strong connections? So we've got. I took a snapshot of some of the upcoming coaching and training we will be doing with you on telling your own stories. And so I thought that would be a great way for you to start thinking about some of the things that you can do in that brief 5 minutes. So recommend just spending a couple minutes on telling a little bit about yourself. And so here's some prompts on how you can do that. So I won't read them. Like I said, I'll make this available to you afterwards, so you can spend some time thinking about what you can say. So then you'll have a couple minutes to talk a little bit about yourself, and then a few minutes to interact with the teachers. I'm sure they'll have some questions for you on what your interests are and strengths and that kind of thing. So I encourage you to refer back to the presentation, refer back to this slide, and just to help get you thinking about being able to tell your story in a very brief amount of time. So with that, that was all I had in terms of telling you information. So with that, I'm going to unmute everyone and I will open it up for questions. All right. Okay, so I've got you all unmuted. If you have yourself muted, you'll have to unmute yourself. So if there's any questions, you're welcome to speak up now. There's also, if you're using the online version of the GoToMeeting app, there is a chat box that you can type your message into as well if you'd like to do that. All right, so opening up for questions.
Yeah, it's Tony Lake. Just a question on the purpose of the 5-minute presentation. Is that for the meet and greet with the teachers?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll just be like a one-on-one thing, or like I said, they might have a few people grouped in each room, Tony. So,
Yeah.
you know, you might, if you've got 3 people in there, you guys got 15 minutes and you can divide your time up that way. But yeah, about 5 minutes each is what we're targeting, just to get through everybody so that everyone has the opportunity to connect with each teacher.
Becky, this is Kim Brown speaking.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, I'm just wondering, so after the 4th, you said we're going to be getting paired up. Is it then sort of up to ourselves and the teachers to decide what the future looks like in terms of the relationship we have with them? Or can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, it's going to depend a little bit on the commitment that you're able to make, and we'll work with you to help you design what that's going to look like, Kim. So I don't
Okay.
have a blanket answer for you because it could vary a little bit person to person, but we'll have, you know, that's something that we're going to be here supporting you on.
It's
Okay,
Sarah.
thank you.
I'll jump on this one. It's Sarah. The matching process will take place after the meeting. There will be, you can maybe keep track as you talk to everybody and see who you feel you're most aligned to. And similarly, the teachers will be keeping track, and they'll tell us who they think is most aligned to either their subject matter or their personality or their location, or it could be a number of factors. And so after the 4th, we'll consolidate those two rankings and make the final determinations in conjunction with the school board.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. And that reminded me, I can mention as well that I know that when you arrive at the school board on the 4th, there's a form that they've got prepared there. So you'll have a spot where you can write down what those preferences are. And I believe they've even got a map on there. So if geography is an issue and you have, you know, certain preferences based on location, you'll have visibility for that as well.
Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
And I assume the 4th is going to be the only opportunity to do that meet and greet with teachers then. And if you can't make the 4th for whatever reason, is there something else we can do?
Yeah, so if you can't make the 4th, then if you do have certain preferences, just let us know. We understand that, you know, things happen and not everyone can be there, and that's okay. We'll find you a match and we'll work with you to figure out what the you know, what kind of commitment you're able to make, and we'll do our best to find a match for you.
We're also working on some opportunities with the Catholic Board on demos in the classroom and also student mentoring for the next school year, 18-19. So even if this particular opportunity doesn't work out at all, then there's other opportunities to volunteer.
There's a couple questions coming up in the chat box here. So someone was asking about where the education center is located. I will send all of you the details on I'll send you a copy of the agenda and the address and any other information you might need. So I will send you an invite on that, so you'll have all those details. And then someone else was asking, is this only through the school year? So yes, it is designed to be done with classrooms. So it is, you know, there's work that will happen outside of the school year. You know, we can do some of the coaching and training and prep work in the off-school season, but the visits with the classrooms would be during the school year.
Sorry, when does the volunteer intake form need to be completed and submitted by?
If you can get that to me by March 30th, please, that would be great.
March 30th.
It just takes a
Thank you.
couple minutes. If you can, I'm not sure who's asking. There's an online version, but I know if you're at Bruce Power, there was an issue with internal firewalls, so I sent out a PDF copy as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's Tony Lake, Bruce Power.
Okay, so you'll have to do the PDF version.
Okay, I think we're at the hour, so thanks very much, everyone. If there's follow-on questions, we can always do them by email as well. Becky, any closing comments?
Yeah, just wanted to say thanks again for everyone that's participated. I've already received quite a few of the intake forms, so thanks for that. And yeah, if you can get those to me by the 30th, please. We want to make sure we've got all the information from you that will help us, set up a positive experience for you as well. We want to make sure that you're having a good experience, and that's going to help, you make sure the kids are having a good experience. So that really helps us out if you can get us that information. I saw one other question here about the ages of the kids, I guess, for the program. So it is the ages that we have right now are high school ages. I'm not sure, Sarah, with the Catholic School Board, if it's different ages or not, but what we have available right now are high school age. Yeah. So I will, like I said, I'll make make a copy of this webinar available to you as a replay. And I will send you out the information you need about the event coming up on April 4th. Looking forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thanks.